How you doing, traders? Hope you guys all had a great week. What a week it's been on SPY, QQQ. All the markets has been an interesting week. Now I'm going to be going over a technical review of SPY, QQQ, and also the big holders within those. Um, Now, for those traders out there who are struggling for consistent profitability, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not yet a profitable trader, but I'm on my way, getting very close to it. But I just want you guys to remember one thing. Just when a bunch of dirt has been thrown onto your trade, remember, you may feel like you've been buried, but in reality, you've just been planted. And you need to be able to see the light within the losses because sometimes the best trades are your losing trades because they teach you the most to prevent you from blowing up in the future. Now, also, I just want you to keep in mind as well that the only difference between the trader you are now and the trader that you want to be is discipline and consistency to your rules and just sticking to that over the long term and over a series of trades. Mark Douglas says this multiple times in Disciplined Trader and Trading the Zone. Very good books, highly recommend them. Um, just a word of motivation for your traders out there that are struggling a bit. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So, on the S&P 500, the big thing that I was watching was on the weekly chart, we have a long-term uptrend, meaning a short-term bearish trend. Now, the big thing was I couldn't really find a trend line that made a nice bull flag. It sort of looks like one, but I couldn't get a nice trend going down right here as well. So I couldn't get that lower channel. And so what we got here is a possible breakout. I would want to see a little bit more commitment on the buyers to see if they could push it up. But what I'm going to be looking for next week is a retest of this bearish downtrend and then a push higher to 450 and possibly 460 if this ends up continuing. Now this is what I'm going to be watching on SPY at least. Now Tesla, we're going to be moving over there. Not that great of a picture in my opinion. As you can see here, we have a long-term bear trend with a short-term bull trend. As you see here, we broke down that short-term bull trend. It looks like as if it wants to come up and retest it. It looks like a very clean break. So I'm not very bullish with Tesla. Now the big thing for the bulls is they did reclaim the 200 EMA. So you might get a push upwards, but I'm really curious to see if it rejects this. If it rejects this, it could really start pushing down to 180, 160, 140. I don't think that's going to happen this week. What I really watch this week is if we get a short-term rally upwards and retest this lower channel right here, this short-term bull trend, is what I'm going to be watching on Tesla. Now, let's see. Let's go over to Apple. Apple, as you can see here, you had a short-term downtrend with a long-term uptrend. So we hit that, broke out of Apple. Now what I'm going to be watching for is to see if we can end up holding this breakout. I ended up buying Apple at like 176, I think. Yeah, it was like right over here is where I bought it. I believe I actually bought it. Yeah, it was 176 is where I bought it. So I just happened to get a good price before I even saw this trend form up. But without further ado, what I'm going to be watching is I'm expecting Apple to do one of two things. So if we start pushing upwards more, what I'm expecting to see is maybe a push to 194. So that's what is going to be the main thing I'm watching on Apple. Now, if we end up going downwards, what I'm going to expect is maybe to see some consolidation and a retest of this breakout right here on this trend line. I would expect something like that, considering that we also got PPI and CPI, I believe, next week. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so we got PPI and CPI next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I think that there's going to be a little bit more hesitation in the market next week, but that's just my personal opinion. Next one is going to be Microsoft. So the big thing on Microsoft is I wasn't able to clearly draw a nice downtrend, but I was able to get a nice uptrend drawn out. So the big thing on Microsoft is you did create a new high. So I believe, in my opinion, that we're going to end up pushing 380, 390 and really push upwards because typically stocks that break their new high will continue just skyrocketing. A lot of the best traders, that's actually how they trade, is they buy when a new high has been made because it shows a lot of strength within the stock, within the company. So what I'm watching on Microsoft is 380 and 390 possibly. Now, if we end up retreating downwards, what I would watch is I would watch a retest of 351. It's going to be the main level I'm watching on Microsoft. Now on NVIDIA, see what we got here. There wasn't any clean trend to really draw. It's more like a clean range is what I'm looking at. So if we break down 485, then on the weekly, you can get all-time highs on NVIDIA. Now, if we end up rejecting 485, it would just say CPI and PPI end up really pulling back the market. I would really watch 457 and 413. I highly doubt it's going to snap back that much, but I'm expecting some hesitation at this trend, at this range on NVIDIA. Next one is going to be McDonald's. Just going to go over that quickly. Now, the only reason I go over McDonald's is because I also have a pretty decent stake in them. So the big thing I'm watching on McDonald's is see if we can get that push upwards. What I really would like to see for this week is to get a push upwards to 275. So that's my price target for McDonald's. If we push downwards, I'm expecting a retracement to 255 possibly. So that's kind of the range I'm watching on McDonald's at least. Now over on QQQ. So QQQ, the big thing I'm watching was this bull flag right here. We ended up breaking out of the bull flag, so that was very positive momentum on QQQ. So what I'm expecting is possibly a retracement back down to this trend line that would bring us about 367.35, and then we might get a push upwards more. Now, if we continue pushing up higher, what I would expect as price targets is maybe I would go with 384 and 390 as good price targets for QQQ if we really start hauling it. But like I've been saying, I would not be shocked to get some more consolidation within the market these next few days. Now, over to SPY. The big thing on I already went over that. So in terms of news, what we got here is we got CPI data on Tuesday, and we got PPI on Wednesday. So that's going to be the big things to watch next week. Is I would expect a lot of I'm expecting consolidation Monday, either a big rally or a snapback on Tuesday. And if we don't get that on Tuesday, then definitely on Wednesday, you're either going to get a big push upwards or a snapback. But that's what I'm going to be watching for next week, traders.